Crises bring out the best and the worst of cable news. The deadly drama that unfolded on Friday in France, I thought was an opportunity to showcase the strengths of cable news. It's live, it's up to the minute, it's fast moving, it also makes mistakes. But as those hostage-taking situations played out, one in Paris, one elsewhere in France, the information was very fragmentary. We didn't know what was going on. We didn't know if anybody had been killed. We didn't know how many hostages there were. And so all of the cable networks were live. They blew out the commercials. It almost seemed like the whole world had stopped. Whole world paying attention to what was going on at this kosher supermarket and at this printing plant. And even though there was a lot of sitting around, a lot of repetition, filling airtime, maddening and frustrating delays in finding out what was happening and what might happen, I thought cable news did a pretty good job because it was as if the whole world was now paying attention, on edge, to try to find out what would happen. And thankfully, all three terrorists were killed. Some of the hostages were free. Tragically, some of the hostages were killed as well. But it was one of those sort of global village moments when everybody came together and was watching, knowing full well that most of the reporters didn't have much more information than they were endlessly repeating. But somehow that was enough because this was a drama not like 24 or Scandal, but that was happening in real time. Very different situation a couple of days earlier when NBC News and Pete Williams made a terrible mistake, I thought, in reporting erroneously, as it turned out, that the two brothers who carried out the awful murders at Charlie Hebdo had been killed and a third terrorist taken into custody. I don't know how you make that mistake. An unnamed U.S. counterterrorism official providing this information. What is the great rush to go on the air? And if it's true, maybe you've beaten everybody else by 5 or 10 minutes. I understand we're all competitive. We all want to be first. But to be so wrong on a story, and especially after we've had lots of spectacular examples, like CNN's John King erroneously reporting an arrest after the Boston Marathon bombing, to just stay away until the story is absolutely positively nailed down. To report that the two suspects were dead at the time when they were most clearly not dead, just an unfortunate mistake, and Pete Williams is usually a very reliable reporter. But fast forward back to Friday, and at times I thought, well, why are they staying with this? There's other news going on in the world. Maybe it's just for ratings. Why don't they just go away and come back when there's something new to say? But you couldn't do that, not just because of ratings, not just because of the drama, but because it was as if we were watching, waiting, just like everybody else, to see what would happen. And when you're in that situation, you can't move away. You can't go to commercial. You can't talk about what's going on in Capitol Hill. There are other outlets where you can get that. That's the strength of cable news, the immediacy. Sometimes it's the weakness, as I say. Mistakes get made, speculation, reckless speculation gets offered on the air. Largely, that didn't happen on Friday, and I, for one, couldn't tear my eyes away.